introversion. And third,
26 years ago, my parents gave me my very first motorcycle. Little did any of us know how much that little bike would change the course of our lives. Since then, I've lived a life on two wheels, filled with friendships, adventures in new countries, and lessons in overcoming adversity. Possibly the greatest thing to come from motorcycles, though, is the bond I have with my family. People always ask me about growing up with motorcycles, and I tell them this: motorcycles and families are synonymous for me. I've never known one without the other. 26 years later, I'm still riding and racing just as much as ever. I often say, I don't know if I would ride at all if it weren't for my family. As my siblings and I have grown up, our lives have just gotten crazy busy, but motorcycles are the one thing I can count on that brings us back together. I'm a father now of 3 kids, and I've looked forward to the time where I could share my passion for motorcycles with them for a long time, and I'm living that right now. And here it is. This motorcycle right here is the exact Yamaha PW50 my parents gave me for my 4th birthday. After my siblings and I all grew out of it, the bike was bought by some of our close friends. As the years went by and little riders grew into slightly bigger riders, the machine was passed and sold from family to family. A full generation later, I find the exact same machine back in my own garage. A huge shout out and thank you to Brian Wilson for holding onto this bike. Believe it or not, it still runs. My daughter Navy has actually been riding it a lot recently, but it's definitely time for a full rebuild. There are parts on this bike that haven't seen the light of day since they were carefully assembled in some Japanese factory last century. Welcome to episode 1 of the PW50 rebuild. Let's get this bike ready for Navy. Our first project is the teardown. First things first, it needed a good wash. You'll see later in the video just how much dirt and grime has accumulated in every little crevice of the engine case. Since these bikes are oil injected, they seem to just be magnets for debris all around the engine area. Even after my best efforts here in the driveway, it's clear I'm going to need a few more passes of deep cleaning. After cleaning, it was time for a complete disassembly. Being that I was taking this bike all the way down to the frame, I didn't really have a strategy or a sequence. I just started pulling bolts apart. It's not a very big bike, and I was able to take inventory of all the hardware later. I started by removing the larger components on the bike: the seat, plastics, fuel tank, exhaust system, and more. The PW50s are an extremely unique and iconic motorcycle for a couple of reasons. Not only are they one of, if not the most common beginner motorcycle in the world for youth riders, they also have a few unique attributes about their engineering and design. We already mentioned the oil injection, but the drive shaft system and engine mount geometry are a few of the other notable features. All right, let's get this machine all the way down to its parts. Special thanks to Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Many of the tools used in this video and anytime I'm working on dirt bikes in my garage are stocked at Rocky Mountain ATVMC. We've all heard the saying, the right tool for the job, and that is no different when working on motorcycles. If anything, it's only more important. Having the right tool for the job makes all the difference. You can purchase any of your favorite tools, gear, and parts from Rocky Mountain ATVMC while supporting Ride with the Knights. Head over to ridewiththeknights.com, click the Rocky Mountain banner, and shop your favorite parts today. The entire PW50 disassembly is now complete. If you've never seen an entire motorcycle laid out on a table before, well, here it is. This is every piece that goes into a Yamaha PW50, from the frame, the entire engine, all of the drivetrain components, the wires, the cables that are used for the brakes, and all of the suspension components as well. It's really cool to see an entire motorcycle laid out like this, and it kind of instills a little bit of confidence in you as you're able to look and distinguish different parts and know where they go. It's pretty refreshing and fulfilling process to take a motorcycle apart like this. Seeing all of these components laid out on the table gets me really excited for the next step, which is going to be to restore each and every one of them. I'm going to do my best to restore as many of these original parts as possible. There are a lot of components that will be replaced, such as cables and brake pads. I'm going to go through the engine and rebuild the engine with a new piston. So there's a lot of parts that are going to be replaced. However, I'm really excited to restore lots of these original parts, and I have a parts washer, a sandblaster here behind the camera that I'm going to be using, some different tools to help accomplish this restoration, as well as some different ideas with Cerakote. I've never used Cerakote before. Really excited to maybe change up the colors and the look of this motorcycle a little bit and bring it some new life. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ride with the Knights YouTube channel today. Super fun time disassembling this Yamaha PW50. In the next episode, we're gonna jump right into restoring some of these original components, such as rebuilding the suspension, rebuilding the wheels. So stay tuned, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, so you don't miss one of those episodes. Other than that, thanks for joining me today, and we will see you guys out on the trails.